Now I'm going to tell you about 12 laws that govern absolutely everything, starting from why your ex texted you at 3 a.m., all the way to why some people attract money like a magnet, while others repel it no matter how hard they work. These laws were carved into stone in ancient Egypt. Tesla studied them while creating his inventions. Einstein hinted at them when he said, "God does not play dice." And here's the wildest part. Steve Jobs, yes, Steve Jobs, was basically applying these laws whether he called them that or not. He didn't just work harder than everyone else. He seemed to move with reality itself, like he understood the hidden rules behind how things connect, how ideas arrive, and how outcomes form before you can explain them logically. And what's even more shocking is that you are using these laws every single moment of your life without realizing it. Just like a fish doesn't realize what water is until you pull it out into the shore. Today I'm giving you something without which success would be impossible. I'm giving you the rules of the game, because you might be a genius pianist, but if you don't know which key is where, you simply can't play the piano. Imagine two people, both want to start a business. The first wakes up at 5 a.m., reads every marketing book, attends every seminar, works 18 hours a day. 1 year later, they're burned out, and their business is barely breathing. The second works calmly, just a few focused hours a day. Clients come to them, partners come to them, investors come to them. 1 year later, they have a network across the entire country. The difference is not effort. The difference is understanding the laws that reality runs on. And I'm going to tell you a fact that will make you stop and think. In 2024, a group of physicists connected to Princeton-level research showed something that the ancient Greeks intuitively grasped a long time ago. The future can influence the past. This is called retrocausality, reverse causation. In certain quantum experiments, a particle knows what measurement will be performed in the future, and it changes its behavior in the present as if the future outcome is already shaping it. Your future is already influencing your current decisions. You just don't feel it because you don't know the laws. And there's more. Researchers associated with institutes studying heart-brain coherence found something else. The heart generates an electromagnetic field far stronger than the brain's. Far stronger. And this field changes depending on your emotional state. When you are in a state of gratitude or love, your field becomes coherent, organized, stable, and people around you subconsciously feel it. That's why you attract some people, and others pull away. It's not just charisma, it's your signal. But even that is kindergarten compared to what the Cambridge researcher Rupert Sheldrake proposed. That there are morphic informational fields, fields that hold the memory of similar systems. When rats in London learned a new maze, rats in Tokyo began learning the same maze faster, without any direct connection, as if information was being shared through a field. Now imagine this. When you enter the state of a successful person, you connect to the field of every successful person who has ever existed. You begin downloading their pattern, their way of being, their inner code. The 12 laws of the universe are not an esoteric fantasy. They are a description of how reality interacts with consciousness. I'm going to divide them into 3 triads, 3 sets of 3, and each triad will unlock a new level of understanding and control. The first triad, the foundation laws. These are the foundation, the base everything else stands on. Law 1, the law of unity. Everything is connected to everything. In quantum physics, there is a concept called non-locality, where two particles that were once connected remain linked, even if they are separated by enormous distances. Change one, and the other changes instantly. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, because it sounded impossible, but it has been demonstrated. You are connected by invisible threads to everything you've ever interacted with. That's why you think of someone, and they call you. That's why a mother feels something is wrong with her child, even hundreds of kilometers away. Practice number 1, quantum connection. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Think of a person you want to reconnect with. Don't think about what you'll say. Just feel the connection on the level of the heart. Then send emotion through that connection. Gratitude. Not gratitude for something specific, just gratitude that this person exists. Very often within days, the connection reappears. It's not magic. It's activating connection through a coherent inner state. Law 2, the law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates. Even what seems solid is vibration at the quantum level. Your thoughts vibrate. Your emotions vibrate. And here's what matters. Similar vibrations attract. This is not a metaphor. In physics, we call it resonance. Tune two guitars to the same note. Pluck one string, and the same string on the other guitar begins to vibrate. Your inner vibration tunes the reality around you like a tuning fork. The problem is that most people vibrate on the frequency of fear and lack. They wake up thinking, it's Monday again. They go to work feeling, when will this week end? They live waiting for the weekend. That is the vibration of survival, and reality answers them with more survival, more struggle. Law 3, the law of correspondence. This is the fractal principle of the universe. Look at a tree. Its branches mirror its roots. Look at lungs. They resemble trees. River systems resemble blood vessels. Galaxies spin like whirlpools in a shell. Everything resembles everything. And your external reality is the exact reflection of your inner state. If your mind is chaos, your life will be chaos. If you are in harmony inside, the world around you becomes calmer. This is not just psychology, this is physics. Because consciousness and reality are not two separate events. They are one event that you experience as cause and effect. But it's not that simple. Yes, every effect has a cause, but because of retrocausality, sometimes the cause is in the future. Your future self can become the cause of today's actions. That's why sometimes you do illogical things that turn out to be genius. That's why Steve Jobs said you can only connect the dots looking backward. Practice number 2, the time reverse loop. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, but don't fantasize. Feel who you became. Feel your energy, your eyes, your presence. Now carefully look from that future self back to today. What would your future self tell you? What single action would they advise you to take immediately? This is not imagination. You are forming a connection to a future state, and it begins influencing your present. Law 3, the law of correspondence. This is the fractal principle of the universe. Look at a tree. Its branches mirror its roots. Look at lungs. They resemble trees. River systems resemble blood vessels. Galaxies spin like whirlpools in a shell. Everything resembles everything, and your external reality is the exact reflection of your inner state. If your mind is chaos, your life will be chaos. If you are in harmony inside, the world around you becomes calmer. This is not just psychology, this is physics. Because consciousness and reality are not two separate events. They are one event that you experience as cause and effect. But it's not that simple. Yes, every effect has a cause, but because of retrocausality, sometimes the cause is in the future. Your future self can become the cause of today's actions. That's why sometimes you do illogical things that turn out to be genius. That's why Steve Jobs said you can only connect the dots looking backward. Practice number 2, the time reverse loop. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, but don't fantasize. Feel who you became. Feel your energy, your eyes, your presence. Now carefully look from that future self back to today. What would your future self tell you? What single action would they advise you to take immediately? This is not imagination. You are forming a connection to a future state, and it begins influencing your present. Law 4, the law of rhythm. Everything moves in cycles. Nothing in nature stays at one point forever. Day turns into night. Tides rise and fall. Seasons change. Breath moves in and out. Life itself is built on rhythm. Your emotions follow rhythm. Your motivation follows rhythm. Your energy follows rhythm. Your success follows rhythm. There are moments of expansion and moments of contraction. Moments when everything flows easily and moments when resistance appears. Most people suffer not because of the downs, but because they fight them. When energy is moving outward, people become confident, bold, productive, creative. When energy is moving inward, people become reflective, sensitive, quiet, introspective. Neither phase is wrong. Problems begin when you try to freeze one phase and avoid the other. You try to stay permanently motivated. You try to avoid fatigue. You try to avoid sadness. You try to avoid uncertainty. But rhythm cannot be controlled. It can only be respected. When the tide goes out, don't panic. That's when the ocean reveals what was hidden on the bottom. That's when you rest, reflect, integrate, repair, and prepare. When the tide comes in, don't become lazy. That's when you move forward, take risks, build, expand, and create momentum. Wisdom is not in forcing constant growth. Wisdom is in surfing the wave. Depression often happens when a person gets stuck in the low phase and resists it. Burnout happens when a person gets stuck in the high phase and refuses to slow down. Health is the ability to move freely between both. When you understand rhythm, you stop panicking during downturns because you know momentum will return, and you stop wasting upswings because you know they are temporary. You begin to cooperate with the flow instead of fighting it. That's when life starts feeling less like survival and more like navigation. Law 5, the law of polarity. Everything has its opposite. Hot and cold are different degrees of temperature. Love and hate are different degrees of emotion. Success and failure are different degrees of outcome. You can't have one without the possibility of the other. Trying to avoid pain automatically limits your capacity for joy. Trying to avoid failure limits your potential for success. Law 6, the law of compensation. The universe is always in balance. You can't take without giving. You can't give without receiving. This is the law of energy conservation in motion. But most people misunderstand one thing. Compensation can arrive from an unexpected source, in an unexpected form. You help a stranger and then receive a promotion. You forgive an abuser and then find love. Everything is connected through the field. Law 7, the law of transmutation. Energy doesn't disappear and it doesn't appear out of nowhere. It only changes form. Fear can be transmuted into excitement. Same energy, different label. Anger can be transmuted into drive. Sadness into compassion. You are the alchemist of your emotions. But most people don't know the formula. Practice number 3, emotional alchemy. When you feel a negative emotion, don't suppress it. Feel where it is in the body. Usually it's a tightness in the chest, the stomach, or the hands. Now imagine it as raw ore. Ask, what do I want to transform this into? If it's fear, turn it into curiosity. If it's anger, turn it into creativity. If it's sadness, turn it into depth. Don't erase the emotion. Change its direction. That is transmutation. The third triad, the laws of creation. This is the level where you become a conscious creator of reality, but forget everything you've heard about the law of attraction. This is not just visualizations and affirmations. This is resonance. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. More precisely, you attract what your field is. And your field is determined not by surface thoughts, but by the deep feeling of who you are. You want money, but deep down you feel poor? Money will avoid you, even if it falls from the sky. You want love, but deep down you feel unworthy? You will sabotage relationships. What must change is not thoughts. What must change is your inner signature. Law 8, the law of relativity. Everything is understood through comparison. Your problems are problems only from your current viewpoint. Change your viewpoint and the meaning changes. Losing a job, disaster or opportunity. A breakup, tragedy or freedom. Illness, punishment or teacher. You can't always change the fact, but you can change the coordinate system in which you interpret it. Law 9, the law of gender. This is not male and female. This is active and passive, giving and receiving, action and perception. Everything has both aspects. Problems begin with imbalance. Only acting and never receiving, you burn out. Only receiving and never acting, you get stuck. Mastery is dancing between both poles. Law 10, the law of divine action. This law contains all the others. When you act from full presence, in harmony with all the laws, the universe acts through you. You become not the doer, but the channel. You don't play the music plays through you. You don't force solutions. Solutions arrive inside you. Now listen carefully. I'm going to give you a protocol that can change your life in 21 days. This is not a promise. It's mechanics in motion. The 21-day protocol, week 1, calibrating the field. Every morning for the first 30 seconds after waking, while your brain is still in that twilight state, do this. Place both hands on your heart. Feel the rhythm. Say 3 times, I am the laws in action. Don't analyze what it means. Just feel the resonance of the words in your body. You begin calibrating your inner field to the universal laws. At night before sleep, review the laws and scan your day. Where did you go against rhythm? Where did you break balance? Where did you act from fear instead of love? Don't blame yourself, just notice. Awareness is the first step in changing a state. Week 2, activating the morphic field. Choose one quality you want to develop. Success, confidence, creativity, anything. Every morning for 3 minutes, enter the state of a person who already has that quality. Don't imagine, become it. Feel it in the body, in posture, in breath, in facial expression. You connect to the pattern of everyone who has ever embodied that quality. And here is what is critical. During the day, catch moments when that quality naturally appears, even for 1 second. Lock onto it. Tell yourself, this is me. That strengthens resonance. Week 3, quantum creation. Now you're ready for the core. Choose one situation you want to change, but don't try to change the situation directly. Change your state in relation to it. If you have money problems, become a source of abundance. Not someone who needs money, a source from which money flows. If you have relationship problems, become love. Not someone searching for love, love itself. Every morning, enter that state for 5 minutes. Every evening, 5 minutes again. But here's what matters most. During the day, don't try to do something special. Just hold the state. Actions will come naturally as the continuation of your new field. By the end of week 3, you will notice strange things. People behave differently. Unexpected opportunities appear. Solutions arrive from nowhere. This is not a miracle. This is resonance. Your new state is pulling in a matching reality. I know what you're thinking. This is too simple to work, or too crazy to believe. Or you've tried something like this before, and it didn't work. If you think it's too simple, you're right. The laws of the universe are simple. E equals mc squared is simple, yet it describes the foundation of matter. Complexity is often a human invention. Reality is elegant in its simplicity. If it's too hard to believe, then don't believe it. Test it. Science is not faith, it is experiment. Run the 21-day experiment and judge by results. Just be honest during the experiment. Don't imitate. Become. If you already tried and it didn't work, then you tried techniques, not transformation. You changed actions, but you didn't change state. You worked on the surface, not the deeper signature. It's like painting a rusty car. It looks good outside, but rust keeps eating the metal from within. And there is one secret I saved for last. Do you know why most people fail to use these laws? Because they try to use them selfishly, only for themselves. But the universe is one system. When you act only for yourself, you contradict the law of unity. You create resistance in the field. True power arrives when you use these laws not only for yourself, but for the evolution of the whole system. When your success makes others more successful. When your happiness raises happiness around you. When your awakening helps others awaken, then the universe becomes your ally. In 1993 in Washington, D.C., about 4,000 people gathered for an experiment. They simply meditated with the intention of peace, and crime dropped by 23%. 4,000 people influenced a city of millions, not through actions, but through state. When a critical mass enters coherence, the whole system changes. If even 1% of you watching begin living by these laws consciously, we create a wave that changes everything. Not because we are special, but because that's how the laws work. 1% of coherence changes the whole system. Imagine a world where people understand the laws of reality, where instead of fighting the rhythm, they dance with it, where instead of fear, they transmute energy, where instead of confusion, they recognize unity, where every person is not a victim of circumstances, but a conscious creator of reality. That world doesn't begin somewhere out there. It begins with you right now, choosing to run a 21-day experiment. Remember, you are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. You do not obey the laws of the universe. You are the laws in action. And when you truly realize this, not intellectually, but in every cell of your body, the game ends and the dance begins. The 12 laws are not rules you must follow. They are a description of who you are at the deepest level. You are unity, expressed as individuality. You are vibration that became matter. You are cause and effect at the same time. You are the rhythm of the universe in human form. Realize it, live it, become it. And I have one question for you. Are you ready to stop playing by the rules that were imposed on you and start creating by the laws that are your true nature? Write in the comments, I'm starting the experiment. And like this video and subscribe if you felt the resonance and if you're ready to go deeper.